So, so we have started this in the part one, and so we talked about then programming the DOM. That what is the programming in DOM? We want to run scripts against some of the user actions, and we saw that I left a question for students: HTML collection or node list. I don't know if you were Kirandeep or Pratham has started like trying to find out the solution, but anyhow, no issues. Finding references to the element. The first part was finding references to the element, and that's a very important part. And we saw that we can find the references to element by using either document.getElement by ID, one of the way of accessing them. Then we have the other way, the query selector, and this query selector was a very nice method. There was one more method. Can anyone tell me what was the other method? There's one more method that was left, but anyhow, you saw that selectors can be a tag, it can be an ID, it can be a class. But I have discussed one more method that I think I forgot to just mention that over here. But I will definitely mention that over here. So remember, there is another method that I might be using today. Document dot query selector all, and that is very important. Why? Because document dot query selector all will select all the selections or whatever selector we have provided. If we have given the tag, if we have given the ID, if we have given the class, the all will select everything. And we'll see that today. Creating, adding, and removing elements. We talked about how can we create an element and then embed that element or add that element to the current HTML. And we have seen that, okay. So there are multiple ways of accessing or appending that. Append child is there, append method is there, so we can do that. Inspecting and modifying elements and their contents. We just talk about how we can just modify and inspect the elements. And the fourth part is running scripts, and that was something that we were doing that day, running scripts against events. And I talked about in a very much detail that what are events and how do we do that, right? So this was a quick review of our lecture of like is this week's part one lecture. And again, if you have not looked at the first video, of course, as I said, that there might be few things that might not be making sense to you. And I would definitely not like that if they are not making sense to you. But anyhow, I'll just try to discuss few things over here, right? So this was our document index.html, which had multiple things. It has an H1, it has a paragraph, it has a UL and an ordered list. It has 3 images into that. It has one paragraph with an ID para1. It has one, I had used this script. So this is the part where I am just embedding the script into it, and the script was created over here. And this was the script that we created last time. So I'll just give you again a quick reference to this script as well. But first I'll run this file and I'll show you how it is effectively running our HTML file. So I'll show you this running version of the file so that you can see that, okay, what's going on in our document. Okay, so let's start talking about that. So I have done what? I have connected my HTML page with a script, and the script name is script.js. Make sense, everyone? And again, since this is at the same root, so same folder, so that's why I'm just using direct name. Otherwise, if it was inside scripts, I would have used that one. You know about that one. Okay, so in the scripts, what I have done, I'll just show you a very, very important, interesting thing over here. That in our script, what we can do is that we can get, first of all, references of the elements of HTML page. So the first thing that I referenced is I said var my body is equal to document.body. So those who have attended the class and have seen the first lecture, they know this document is the major object that contains my all HTML document inside. And if I say document.body, I mean that just go and select body out of this document and store it in my body. Right, so that's what we talked about. In the same way, I say that my head, I am declaring a variable, my head, and go and select something from HTML. And what do you select from the HTML? Document.query selector H1. I am selecting the H1 tag over here because we have only one H1 right now. We'll shortly see we can add them. So just go and select the H1 over there, right? Now, if we select or if we just store something like this, what we can do is that we can allow some event-driven programming over here. We can do some event-driven programming. What does that mean? I can say my body. If you see here, I can just separate it. My body dot on click. My body means I'm talking about document dot body, and document dot body means I'm talking about whole HTML document. So I'm saying that my body dot on click, this one, my body dot on click. Whenever someone clicks on my body means the document body, clicks on that one, a function should be called, and that function is called handle click, right? So handle click function will be called when someone will click on the body, the document body, which I have stored in my body. So I say my body dot on click is equal to handle click. So whenever someone clicks on the body, run this function. Now, remember, when you call this function, we don't need that function signs or anything. We just name the function. Just refer the function. Over here, there is a function. Function handle click. What is this function doing? It says go and grab the title of the document.title, which is this one. This is a document, and change it to do you understand this much. It will, when I click on that one, when I click on the body, it will call this function handle click, and this handle click function will do first thing, document.title. By document.title means I'm talking about this title over here. You know what I mean? So I'm talking about this title over here. Anyhow, it will change its title. And then document.query selector #para1 dot inner text. And again, I told you that inner text means we want to change the inner text. So wherever is the para1? Can anyone tell me where is the para1? Para1 is over here. I'm talking about this text. So this alt text, select that one, #para1 by document.query selector, and its inner text should be changed to this one, right? And another thing, document.query selector all, select all the images. Out of that first image, like, I told you, like, again, if you have attended the class, that if there are multiple images, selector all will bring all the images, and the 0 will contain the first image, that is this one. Source equal to car3.jpg. Change the source of this picture as well. Now, this all will happen when I will click on the body, because handle click function will be called. Now come here and click somewhere on the body. If I come here and click somewhere on the body, you see, if I click on the body, you see that the picture has changed. This is the car3.jpg. Car3 has come over here. You see title has changed also, and you see that text is also changed. How many of you understand this one? That when I click on the body anywhere, there are 3 or 4 lines that are executing. Okay, Kirandeep, that's wonderful. Now, how this is happening? This has to be understood. That query selector, I'm accessing the ID, and I told you that if you are accessing an ID, you need to use the hash. Where is that? It's here. If you are accessing ID, you need to hash. If you are accessing class, you need to use the dot, and so on. Okay, and then I did another thing. I say my head is equal to document.query selector h1. So this is the h1, and there is only one h1 right now in my document. That's why I'm selecting h1. Otherwise, h1, of course, the first h1 will be selected anyhow. And I'm saying my head dot on click. So on click of my head, just go and run handle click 2 function. Now what handle click 2 does, it selects the h1 again, like again, I'm selecting myself. Dot inner text is equal to updated. It means if someone clicks on this h1, see there, it changes to updated. Does that make sense to everyone? So it is basically what? When I click on the my head. So I can select anything virtually from my page, and on that selection, I can do whatever I want. And you will see that, okay, that means that it would be working fine for me. Is that right? Okay. So now let's talk about something. What I'll do is that, again, because this is something that we have done in our last class. Of course, most of the things are from the last class. So I will, for the time being, what I'll do is that I will just do it. So again, these are the events that might come, but I want to just discuss one more thing into it. Then I'll create a new document. So rather, let's create a new document. So I'll create a new document for today, and I will call it June 24 for today. HTML, and I'll make a script as well. Script June 24 dot CS not CSS. script. I have to, so I've created an HTML file and a script file. So I don't want index, I don't want to work on that one. I don't want to work on a script. Rather, I want to. So first of all, let's create this June 24 document created. So we are just, making this document today, and inside body, let me just create few things, or maybe I would like to just, let's just put something over here. So for example, I'll say H1, and I will say using events in DOM, right? So this will be our heading for today, and I'll just, run this one. So this is my heading, June 420, using events in DOM, and we will be just, talking about the events in DOM, and we'll see some very nice, interesting things over here, and we'll see that what typically we want to do over here, right? Okay, so let's create another H1, or rather not H1. I don't want to create an H1. Rather, I want to create a button over here. Let's start with this way. I create a button and I give it an ID of BTN, and let's say click me. So I just created a button like this, right? And now what I'll do is that, you remember, I always use any of these CSS. So let's use water CSS, because so that my page looks a bit better. I don't want to look at like a very raw form. And we have not discussed CSS, by the way, don't worry. And I told you that in the beginning that we will be discussing that, but right now I just want to run it this like this. So you see that it looks like much better now. So my page looks like much better, right? Okay, so now I will just start playing with this button, and I want to work on this button. So button, I have given this ID, button equal to ID. Now if you come to the document, I have one of the way that I can say document. Sorry, I want to just catch this button in a variable. So I'll say var btn equal to document dot query selector. Now, can anyone tell me what should I write inside document dot query selector? I have to select this click me button. So what should I write inside these brackets? I want to select the query, the button over here. Okay, you have asked a question. I can see now. I see. How can you make both of them occur differently? Like when we click on H1, title also changes. How can we stop that? Okay, Pratham, I'll just maybe you'll get the answer shortly. But yes, you are right. Those who are saying I have to write here hash button. I've got that button over here, right? So I've got that button, right? So you remember we have talked about one of the event. I can connect an event. I can say on click equal to, let's call a function over here maybe, and let's call a function maybe let's call it again handle click, or we can call it anything, right? Okay, now let's create this function handle click. Right, so let's create this function handle click. Now I have said, I'm saying that whenever someone clicks on this button, this function should run. Everyone understand? And now I will always remember always that you should always run console and check that whether button is working. Button click is working, right? So I want to check that in the console maybe, right? Okay, I have done a not mistake. I'll just first of all I come over here. So when I will click on this button, I will get this text like console button click is working in that time, but it's not working. Can anyone tell me why it is not working? I have created this. I have said that catch the button and on click, handle the click, and handle click says that console.log, but it's not consoling anything. I hope those who have taken previous classes, they can just quickly tell me why it's not working over here. I click on this, It should console something. BTN click is working. The problem is I have not connected my script file over here. Kirandeep, do you get that, everyone? I have not connected this one. So to connect our file, I told you that you can connect it at the bottom or at the top. So I will say June24.js. Make sense, everyone now? Okay. So now let's click on this one and see that if that happens. If I click on this, okay, button click is working. It means my function is now working. Got everyone? Now, that's good. Now let's go back over here and I want to create a paragraph over here. And I want to give it this paragraph an ID. So I'll give it an ID para. So this is a paragraph. This is some text. I just created a paragraph and I've just shown that over there, that this is some text and I have given the ID of para. Right? Now, let's play with this one now. I am saying that whenever user, so I don't want to console anything, just was checking. For debugging, I will always do the consoling, but otherwise I'll just take it away. I am saying that whenever someone clicks me, like click me, whenever someone click on this button, do something. For example, this paragraph, let me just, not close this one, not close head. So this para, this text should be changed. This text should be changed to something else. So I'll come here and I'll say document dot query selector, and I want to select this paragraph. What is the ID of this paragraph? Para. So what I'll do, I'll say hash para. Understand, everyone? Dot inner text. I want to change the inner text of this hash para equal to welcome to DOM programming. Allow me to make it contract. So you understand? Go and select this paragraph and change its inner text from something, whatever it is, to welcome to DOM programming. If I go and click on this button, you see it changes to welcome to DOM programming. Do you guys understand that one? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so this is one way of associating events with your button, with your elements. But there is another way of doing that, and generally speaking, we will be doing that one more often than on click, and we'll be using that function, like that thing too many times. Rather than doing this BTN on click, I'll just make it a comment just to show you. I'll say BTN dot add event listener. This is very interesting. It has multiple events. I will say add event listener, call that, and just do handle click over here. You know what I mean? BTN, like with the BTN, just add an event listener to this one. So whenever someone clicks on this BTN, call this handle click function and run this handle click function. Make sense, everyone? Now, both have their benefits, and I would like to just go into very much detail, but remember that this add event listener is always preferred over this on click and this like that, because if I very quickly, if you want answer, it means like BTN on click always overrides the events, and BTN add event listener can add multiple events to same event, same value. And I just I might be showing you somewhere, but right now let's see what will happen now. So if I refresh my page, this is now, and if I click on this one, I see welcome to DOM programming over there. Make sense, everyone? Now there are many types of events that might be used over here. One of the event is very interesting. One of the event is mouse over. Mouse over. I'm not talking about the click even. You see, when I take my mouse over it and it changes. And of course, it's not changing back. But again, right now, just to understand, because I've just attached an event to mouse over. You know what I mean? So it means that we can have so many things. We can have the function load working before unload, focus, blur, click, double click. I can even see double click. So I can say dbl click. If I say dbl click, you see if I click on that, not working, function is not working. If I again click on that, not working. I'll have to click quickly twice. So if I come over here and click twice, you see now it is changing, double click. So specifically speaking, there are so many functions that we want to just use. But one of the very important observation is here. The observation is that we can just we can define function like this because I am just calling the function over here, or I can just do it other ways around. And this is exactly the same thing, but I want to show you something. So add event listener, whenever someone clicks on this button, comma, I want you to run a function. What is that function? See here. This function will do what? That's the same thing. Document dot query selector hash para dot inner text. Change the inner text of this one. Inner text equal to welcome to DOM programming. Just the same, exactly the same. But I want to show you something here, very interesting. Now, again, I've done the same thing. btn dot add event listener. Click. When someone clicks, run this function. This function will do what? Document dot query selector hash para inner text welcome to DOM programming, and it will just change that text. Right? Now go and click on this one. You see, it is changing. It is changing the text. Now, just remember one thing: whenever an event is fired, the function always receives the events in form of this, any variable. It always. So whenever user clicks on that one, E is received over there. E, you can write E, you can write EVT, whatever. You can write event, something like that. But usually we write E or EVT. So what is this EVT? Like E or event is basically that event that is being thrown. Like when we click on that, it means that E is typically the what? It is typically the click that user has made. Now, I would like to show you that. So every function will receive this E, and this E has a very, very important usage. And what is that important usage? I'll just show you that important usage over here as well. So now if I want to see that, what is this E? You might be thinking, what is this E? Console that and show me what is that E. When I click that, what is generated? Now see here. When I click on this button, when I click on this button, see, first of all, welcome to DOM programming attack. But if you see here, I would like you to just focus on this one. This is very important. And this is the gist of the DOM programming. When I have clicked, an event was generated, and I have just console logged this event. This event says it's a pointer event, mouse event, pointer event. If I click on this one, I'll have to just there are so many information things. But I would like you to just focus on few very, very important things. So if you see here, for example, there is a option client X and client Y. This is something great. This is something very, very, very important. You know what it is telling me? Where I have clicked on my button. It's 69X and 149Y. You know what I mean? And I'll just show you more. If you want to see anything other important, it has view, it has look, type is equal to click. So it is basically a click event. Now, it's not only that this E is created, but we can catch this E with any of these values. And what does that mean? If I come over here and if I say, for example, E dot, and you see, and I can show you, this event has multiple properties. If I say E dot client X, client X, it's capital X, right? E dot client X, just show me the client X, right? So if I click on that, refresh that one, and if I now click on this button, when I click on this button, you see it is 82. Can anyone tell me what is this 82? 82 is the mouse position where I clicked on this button, and the X mouse position. Now you see, my X mouse position is 47 now. Exactly. Now you see 43, 22. So you see that it is now telling me the mouse position. So this is just the mouse position coming up. Is that clear? Now I'll show you something very interesting. Right now I've just taken the button. Why not? Let's take a body as well. Var body equal to document dot body. Just select all the body, right? And with body also, add an event listener. And again, someone clicks on the body, do what? Run a function and catch this E as well. Event as well, right? And do what? For example, right now I'm just doing with consoling. First of all, consoling that. Console E dot client X, right? And plus E dot client Y. So I'm just saying that whenever I click on the body anywhere, you catch its client X and client Y. Pratham, are you getting that? Okay, it will go where? It will go on the console. Let's go back to the console. And let's see, this is complete body. If I come to this body and I click somewhere, you see, okay, I've not just given any spaces in that. So let's embed a space as well. Or we can just do another thing. You remember? We can use that backticks as well. Now, anyhow, I can use that. So you see 67 and 142 is my mouse position. You see, whenever I click on the body anywhere, it is just showing me that where I am clicking on that. Is that making sense to everyone? Now, if I want to show this X and Y position on my page, that's a very important thing. If I come over here and if I say, for example, paragraph X is this and Y is this. Now, I want to display X and Y positions over here. You know what I mean? Now, please be very careful because we are about to enter into very nice programming. So here I want to print the X value, the client X value, and here I want to print the client Y value. Now, for that, what I need to do, I'll have to first, define this area in a way that I can catch that in my script. And one of the way of doing that is, for example, I can come over here, I can say span, and I can assign a span ID to, and I can say X position. You know what I mean? And here I can define a span, and I can give an ID equal to Y position. How many of you understand that? So after X and after Y, let's put a BR after that because I just want to make it right now separate from the E. So X, and just take away this white and no need for that. So X position, Y position. I want to print this X position and Y position. Do you understand what I have done? I have just taken the reference of this area. This is span area. Now, what happened is, now let's come back over here. Whenever someone clicks on the body, I don't want to console that. I want to do something else. I want to say, see here, for example, document dot query selector hash XPOS. Now, do you remember that we have this XPOS and an ID defined over here, which is this area? And right now I'm just writing a dot inner text equal to 100. Yes, 100. I'm just defining it by myself. And same as over here, document dot query selector hash YPOS dot inner text equal to 200. Now see here, whenever someone will click on the body anywhere, this X and Y will show the mouse position or something else. Let's go and click that one. I'm clicking on the body and you see, inner text. So you see that I click on the body and it says 100 and 200. Are you guys getting that? What I'm trying to do? That whenever I click on that, I get the X position of my cursor where I have clicked on that one. Pratham, are you getting that one? So I want to change this one. And can you tell me, I have to just do one little thing over here. If I come over here and I will write E dot client X should come over here and E dot client Y should come over here. Are you guys getting that? Now see here, if I click on the body anywhere, how many of you are understanding what's going on here? I have just taken the X position, Y position, two positions have been defined. There was nothing before that, right? And we can write something here. X will come here. I'm just making it just to make you. Y will come here, right? So now X will come here, Y will come here. If I click on somewhere, then they go away and the position comes. Are you guys understanding this event? How important this event is? That's wonderful. And not only that one. Not only that one. You know, I told you that there are different events. Not even clicking. If I say mouse move. Mouse move. Let's check that mouse move. It's not working for the. I'll just check that. Sometimes it does not work for that one. Anyhow, first of all, let's check this for the click. So whenever I click somewhere on the body, the X and Y position get changed. Are you getting that? So I'm clicking on the button. So button is doing another thing. Button is just doing that, you know, welcome to DOM programming. It is just changing. And again, my cursor keep on changing, like, you know, my position, X and Y position keep on changing. You understand how important this is? Now, I would like to now I'd like to tell you something very, very interesting. Okay, so what is happening over here is that when I click on this button is just changing, and I just get the X position, Y position, and also I'm consoling something. Why I'm consoling? I don't need console. I don't need any console over here. I just need this one. So if I click on that one, I just keep on getting the mouse positions over here. Let's do one more thing over here. When someone clicks on this button, what happens is that a picture is created. Var pic equal to document dot create element. I want to create an element, and what element I want to create? IMG image. Got everyone? And I say over here, for example, I say pic dot src. You remember src is equal to, and I have got some pictures over here. So let's take car2.jpg. So I'll say src is equal to car2.jpeg pic dot alt, like alternate text, car to picture, and pic dot, for example, width equal to 200. I just want to give it a width of 200. Now the picture is created. Will it be visible on my page? Anyone? Will it be visible on my page? The picture has already been created. Kirandeep, no. Kiran, what I need to do over here? I have to append. Yes, Pratham, it's not like clicking. If I click even click on that, picture is created, but it's not appended over here. That's a very nice answer from Kirandeep. I need to do that. Document dot body, or rather, body is always there. I have captured the body over here, right? So I can say body dot append child. I'm just appending child. And what should I append? The pic. Now see here. When I'm clicking on the body, I just get the mouse position. But when I click on this picture, click me, I get a picture over there. Are you guys getting that? If I keep on clicking this, it will just keep on adding the picture over here. Are you getting that? That's wonderful. And it has just created a picture, and it has just brought this picture over here. Now, rather than connecting it with the body, why not let's create a paragraph over here, maybe paragraph, and let's call it ID is equal to images. For example, I'll create images over here. So rather than connecting it to the body, what should I do over here? Not body dot append child, rather document dot query selector, and I want to select what? Images, hash images, ID images, right? Images append child picture. So now rather than connecting it, it will just create a picture over here. Everyone is getting that? Okay, I want to show you something very interesting. If I just console here, console, right? Console, you clicked the button. So it will just console, you click the button. And inside this body clicking, it says document dot, sorry, not document dot, console. Console dot log, you clicked on body. I want to show you something very interesting related to color. Now let's open up the inspector. and let's see how it runs. So I want to show you something. If I click on the body anywhere, you say you clicked on the body. Understand, everyone? You clicked on the body twice. You clicked on the body. You clicked on the body. So body is it is running this function, and also it is changing the client X and client Y. When I click on my button, you see when I click on my button works fine, and button says you clicked the button, but it also says you clicked on the body. Are you guys getting that? This is called propagation of event, because when I'm clicking on button is on the body. So button is saying not only you clicked on the button, but it's also showing you clicked on the body as well. Even though, one way or another, I'm saying that I don't want to propagate this event. When I click on this one, it should just click on this button and it should not trigger the body event. Are you guys getting that, what I'm saying? This is a very, very important concept. I only want when I click on button, click on body should not run. Now remember, this E will play an important role over here. And I'll tell you another function which we have not used, but I'll tell you. So there is a function which is called stop propagation. Stop propagation. So on this button click, I have just given stop propagation. Don't propagate my event. Now, if I click on the body, I get you clicked on the body. You clicked on the body twice. Now, if I click on the button, see what happens at the bottom. You clicked on the button. Do you see that you clicked on the body? No. Why? Because now I am not propagating the event. Are you understanding? Sometimes you want an event to just keep to that particular element and don't propagate to the parent, because button is basically inside body. So whatever event I will just create, that it will be propagated to the body, and I don't want to propagate that. Are you guys getting that one? This is very, very important. And there is one more thing. If ever you start feeling a problem that your function is not replying properly, there is another event that you have to use, another function. It is called prevent default. What it will do is that it will not allow, if there is some output, this output will remain always there, and just use, whenever you use a function like this, just use maybe prevent default always, but this stop propagation only for stopping propagation of the event. So if I click on that one, it only says, if I show you, it only says you click on the button, and when I click on the body, it says you click on the body. Are you guys getting that one? Okay. Right. So now let's see some more interesting things. Is this all? Can you explain prevent default again? Yeah. What prevent default does, Pratham, what will happen sometimes when you run the function like this, and there is no prevent default for you. For example, let's talk about this function. Sometimes you will face a difficulty that when you click on the body, you want that these values should always be over here. You will feel, Pratham, sometimes that when the body is completed, it does not retain the values which were produced by this one. You know what I mean? The output of this function goes away. Why? Because it will say, okay, the body is complete and the event listener is complete. Now, whatever was done, it has to be undone now. Pratham, are you making a little sense of it? And I'll show you. Sometimes you will just create a function and you will say, why my output comes and it goes away? Why? Because you have not used the prevent default. Pratham, are you getting that? For example, this output, it generates this console log and it makes these two values. But sometimes when you go out of this, of course, you go out of this after that one. When you go out of this, it will just change back to the default values. You'll say, what has happened? Why the values are not coming? And why it's not coming, you will see that, okay, I did not use the prevent default. Prevent default means whatever I have just used, it should be always there. It should become a permanent over there. Pratham, is that making sense to you? And I will show you, maybe we'll see that shortly in some function that it does not work. Pratham, does that make sense? Yeah, exactly. So I'll just show you that how that will be. Now, let's do one more thing. So I have, for example, I was creating a picture. Let's do not create the picture. Rather, I'll bring a picture over there by myself. So I'll just come over here, and in images, I just create one IMG. IMG src is equal to car.jpeg. I'm just creating a permanent picture, right? and alt is equal to topic, and width is equal to 200. Let's I've just created a picture. It's a sorry, car2 is very bad picture. Let's make car1. There's no car1, then only car. So this is, let's take this picture. So this is a picture over here. Now I want to say that this is a picture. This is not generated by that one. This is rather over there already, right? Now I don't want these consoles anymore. I don't want to place them console because I don't want console. I just wanted to show you. So you understand that event default. So I'm saying that whenever someone clicks on this button, this picture should change. Make sense, everyone? The picture should change. Now, if I want to do that, I will have to give an ID to picture as well. And remember now, make a habit of giving ID to anything. So I say pick one, for example. You know what I mean? So I'm saying this is pick one. So what I say that whenever someone clicks on this button, the picture should change. Now, how I'll do that? See here. I will say document dot query selector hash pick one dot the source of this one should be changed to car3.jpeg. Are you guys getting that? Now see here. If I come over here and I click on this button, understand everyone? Document.query. So whatever is the pick one, just go and do what? Change the source of that picture. Now the picture has changed from this car1, car to car3.jpg, or maybe car2.jpg. So if I say this is my original picture, if I click on that one, the picture goes this one. Now and you see that whenever I'm clicking on this one, when I'm just clicking the button, you see that it's not showing the coordinates. Why it is not showing the coordinates when I'm clicking on the button? Why it is not showing the coordinates of X and Y over here when I'm clicking on this button? Now it is showing, but now it is not changing. Remember everyone, prevent default. We have done prevent default, and the event does not trigger this body event. Make sense, everyone? Now this is basically doing what? This is just doing that picture, and after that getting that picture, it will be just it will run that one. Okay. Right. So this is what, when I click on this button, I can do lots of interesting things over here. I'm just playing with my all page. And again, that the thing that I did, that you can just, you might want to create something. You might want to create a paragraph, for example, and that paragraph might have something associated with it. So you can do all those things over here. But now if I just check that one, it is just running. It is showing me X and Y position. It is just changing the picture at the runtime. Now let's take a 5 minutes break, and after the break, I'll tell you how automatically I will bring so many pictures over here and how we can technically change them by using a function or by using something over there. You know what I mean? So let's take a 5 minutes break, and after the break, we'll just talk about more about this one, and we'll see that whenever we will have some names of the picture, and we can just run them, and we can just see how we can change those values. So I'll just take a 5 minutes quick break, and I'll be back in 5 minutes around 6:04 or 6:05. Okay, so we have talked about the DOM events till now. I am seeing that I can change the picture over here, and I can just click on any events, and these basically are doing a lot of things. Okay, so let's start talking about I have told you about the unsplash.com. Let's take some car pictures URL. I'll just take some URLs and I'll try to collect those URLs with me, and I'll show you why I am doing that. So for example, this one, let copy image address. I've just copied that image address. And if I come over here, I'll create another script file over here, for example, and I will say pictures.js. So I'm just creating some pictures.js, right? You know what I mean? I'm just creating some pictures of cars, right? So I will say, for example, var cars is equal to, let's create an array of cars, the address. I'll create the array of addresses. Let's put up this one, which I have copied and paste that. Okay, I'll show you in wrapping. You see, I have taken one picture, like one picture and one URL, and I've just pasted this over here. And why I'm doing that, I'll just show you that I would use these one. Okay, so this first car and then maybe this second car, copy image address. I'll come over here, inverted commas, paste that, and after that a comma. Let's take this car and inverted commas and put that over here. And then maybe take this car. So I'm randomly taking some cards, like some cards addresses. And let's take one more. So let's take this one. Copy image address. So now I have got an array of different links that are coming over here. You know what I mean? And by the way, from out of that, one of them I can use that directly on my page as well. So on June 24, I'm just saying not car.jpg, rather here it should bring this car. So now I have this car over here. Now listen about the purpose what I want. I have resumed recording. Yes. So I want to do what? I want to just, whenever user clicks on this button, you see that right now it is changing the source to car.jpg. No, I want it to pick any of them from the pictures over here, the URL, and convert that URL. Like again, instead of car.2.jpg, some of the URL should be picked from the pictures and it should be applied over here. Now, remember that we can include any number of scripts as we want in my page. So like CSS documents I told you. So I want to add here pictures.js. Why? Because pictures.js has the array of all the pictures that I want to use. Make sense, everyone? So I want to use that one over here. And what I want is that over here, rather than using this, doing the car.jpg, for example, I want to say that any of the link from this should be available over here and it should become the source of this one. Are you getting that, everyone? Now, if I want to do that, I would like to use, for example, I would like to use over here, I will like to call a function next car URL. Make sense, everyone? A function I'll try to create a function that will return a next URL from here. And whenever it will get a next URL, the source will change to that one. Right now, it is not, it might not be returning anything. So you see, picture is not changing, but I'll have to create this function. And that function is basically car URL, like next car URL. So if I come over here and I create a function, next car URL. Right? Next car URL. And let's talk about this if it is just returning anything. And it will return a URL of the card. So for example, if I copy some URL from here, the one that I have copied over here, if I copy this and I just return this one directly. I'm just doing this directly, but I'll tell you that how to do that automatically. So now I'm just saying that return this URL. So it will return this URL and this will become the source of the picture. Make sense, everyone? If I come over and click on this one, you see the picture has changed. Are you guys getting that? So it means this function has to return a URL, but that URL should be someone selected from this one, and then it sends that one back to over there. Is that clear? Now, I'll tell you another very interesting way. One of the ways should be I can write return cars dot, for example, 0, cars of 0. Now cars, what is this cars? Cars is this array that I have created. So I'm saying return cars of 0. So now let's come over here and click on that one. Okay, it's not returning this card. Am I using the right thing? Card. Yes, the card is right. Okay, let's check that card with 1. It's not sending that back. Okay, I'll just check that one. Okay. what it is returning. Let me just see that. Cars of 1. Okay, let's check that again with that one. Let's check with the URL again. URL is coming fine. Okay, next car URL, it should return. Okay, I can understand what's going on. I'll just do that. Okay, let me just check that once more, and I can understand what's going on. If I click on that, not getting. Okay, why is it happening? One of the way can be this script picture should be. I can take it to the head. For example, always it can come in the head as well. So just inserting that before this one. Still not getting. Okay, no problem. Oh, what's the mistake? I found my mistake now. It's not getting these cars of arrays over here, even though I have just added that. Why? Because I am using the wrong file name for the script. The script is pictures.js. Make sense? Pictures.js. Now, hopefully, it will now return that. You see here, that is returning the first picture over there. You see, if I write picture of 1, so you see that it will bring up the next picture. The cars of. So, Pratham, are you understanding? These cars, basically, they are coming from this pictures.js, and you can have any script files. So this is a very interesting way that I want to. Now, I would like to just have a dynamic value from here that will keep on generating the new next URL, and it will just, keep on doing that one. Is that right? So now, if you understand that I have to create a current car index. I have to generate a current car index. Current car index should be equal to 0. You know what I mean? And for example, I say return current car index. Sorry, not current car index. Cars of current car index. Are you guys making sense of it? Right now, its current car index is equal to 0, and I'm saying return cars of current car index. So you see, 0 location has this picture. So it is coming over there. But now, do you know that I want to change this always? I want to say that current car index should be plus after that. It should not be only 0. Now, if I click on that, it's not bringing up 0. Now it's directly bringing out 1. Now, can I do that one thing? If I cut this from here and I take it outside of this one, now you make sense of it. That current car index, it will once become 0, and then every time when it will be called, it will just add 1 to it. So now if you see here, if I click on this one, it is bringing up this one. Now next picture, now next picture, now next picture, and now I have gone out of it. You see what I mean? Now, if you see one of the first association, one of the first thing that it is just right now, if you see that. Okay, yeah. So it is just missing the first picture. If you remember, the first picture is not coming, the first one. And why it is not coming? Because you see that current car index is equal to 0. When I come to the function, it directly, first of all, increments that one. Now, here comes a very important thing. You remember I told you this, this increment and decrement operator? If I come over here and I write this increment operator over here, now if you see that, it will bring this is the 1 picture, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and now there is no other picture. Now you see that it is going out of it, like again, I want to make it a rounded over here. So I will be able to make rounded of over here. I can just say that, for example, if current car index equals cars dot length -1. You remember, I want to check that if the length is -1. If that happens, just do what? Current car index equal to 0. You know what I mean? If you find that the current car index is equal to it has reached to the end, cars dot length, just make it to 0. Now I'm not getting an abnormal picture over there. Are you guys getting that, Pratham? And I'm not Pratham. Pratham, you have said 2 or twice, yes. So you see, I have just defined a variable, and I just, I'm playing with this variable. And here I'm just saying that, okay, just get these values and work on that one. Is that making sense to everyone? Okay, are you understanding that? Okay, if I click on that one, this picture is basically, this is coming up. It's a very interesting one, right? Okay, what else we want? For example, I want that whenever, not this button, for example, let me create one more button over here. Let's create one more button. Sorry. But create a button and say load more cards, for example. Load more cards. And what I want to say that when I click on this one, it just change. But when I click on this one, this load more cards, what happens is that all the cards that are there over there, they should come over here and they should become my, they should be visible over here in an ordered list over there. You know what I mean? That I want them to be appearing over here as an ordered list. And what does that mean? It means that I want to just, show that all those values that were coming over there, and I have just brought those values over here, and these values are visible in my document over there. Make sense, everyone? What I want to bring all those values which are coming from the back one, and I want to just show them over there, and I want to just bring that next URL over here. So whenever the user click on this one, I want to have everything over there. So now let's first of all, this button should have an ID. Again, every button should have an ID. So I say ID equal to BTN, ID equal to BTN2. So I'm just creating another ID for that one, right? Because I want to associate an event with that one. Make sense, everyone? Now come back to this code, and here I would like to just do something. I will say var load BTN equal to document dot query selector and BTN2. I think I've given the BTN2. Anyone remembers that? Yes, BTN2. So catch that one into load BTN, and now load BTN dot add event listener. Add an event to this one, and what is that event? Again, click function. I want to run a function, and this should have an E over there. Right? See what I want. I want to, whenever someone clicks on this button, I want to say that, for example, I want to create a ordered list over here where all these pictures URL should come and appear over there. Is that making sense for everyone? Now, let's come back over here. And now what I'll do is that after this picture, for example, or maybe before this picture, before this images, I'll give a paragraph and I'll say, for example, I'll give an ID equal to data. Maybe list. So I'll just give it an ID of list, right? I want to create my list over here where I want to bring all the values. Now you see here, whenever someone clicks on this button, let's do one thing. First of all, just create an OL equal to document dot create element OL, ordered list. I want to create an ordered list. Are you guys getting that? I want to create an ordered list. Whenever someone clicks on this button, create an ordered list. Now, if I want to create an ordered list and I want to bring, for example, I want to bring every value from these pictures. So what I'll say, I'll just come over here and see here. I'll say cards dot for each. Remember for each, and I'll pass a function over here. So every URL of cards dot for each, every URL of card. Let's do what? I'll say, okay, var li equal to for every value of that image URL. Do what? Li is equal to document dot create element and li. I want to create an li for every element, for every URL. Does that make sense? And li dot inner text is equal to, can anyone tell me what should I write? I will say URL. Whatever is in URL, just make it the text of over here. Is that right? And now it will just keep on working for all the URLs. Whatever URL is here, it will just go and read every URL. For every URL, it will create one li, and it will set up the text to over here. Now, this OL should be ready by this time. Now I'll say OL dot append child. Sorry, yes, append child li, and rather I'll have to do that inside that, because every child created and it should be part of OL. So every child should be created, the text should be equal to this one, and it should become a part of an OL. Right? Makes sense, everyone? Now, when this is ready, then this becomes, so again, I have just created this one, and after that creating this one, now I'll come over here and I'll say, you see what I'll say? I'll say document.query selector hash list. And what is this list? Remember this list. I want to access this paragraph, right? So I say hash list dot append child. Now I'm directly doing that, right? Append child OL. The created OL should be appended to my this one. Make sense, everyone? Let's test if I have done everything right. Are you guys getting that? I have got all the pictures or all the URL from that one, and those URLs are appearing over here. How many of you understand that what's going on over here? Cars dot for each, take every value of this cars and do what? Run for each and take one value, one URL at a time, and do what? Create an li for that one, and every li will be created, and every li will have a text is equal to URL. So whatever URL, the first URL, the second URL, third URL, they will just keep on coming over here. And now if I just keep on clicking them, these are the URL which are changing, and I'm getting the different pictures over here. Is that making sense to everyone? That's wonderful. Now I would like to do last one last thing before we wrap it up. I want to make all of these links to these pictures. Whenever I click on this, the picture should open in the unsplash.com. You know what I mean? It means that for every li, inside that li, I want to create, see here, I want to create an A anchor tag. Var A is equal to document dot create element A. Create A. Anchor tag is created. Now A dot href. Can anyone tell me what should be the href? It will be URL, right? What if the URL is coming? It should be href over there. And A dot inner text is equal to again URL, because now I want to just place that inside that one, not this one. Remember, everyone? I don't want it to be over here. Now 2 steps completed. A is created, A has the inner text, A has the URL. But last thing is remaining. I have to append that A with every li. Now you see here, everything is linked also. If I click on that one, you see that I will like, when I click on this one, it should open that. It is not opening that. Let me just check. A dot href is equal to URL. It should even open that. Inner text is equal to URL. Inner text is coming, but it's not accessing that one. And why is not it? Href is equal to URL. Yes, href is right. URL. It should work fine. Why? Because okay, yes, A dot target equal to underscore blank. If I do, I want to open it in a new window. Okay, this A is not, this something is not working. Something I have just missed out. I'm going to create A, and let me just console this A. What A shows over here? This consoling is very important, and I can console it over here. Console.log A. What is console.log A over here? So when I click on this one, Inspector is here. If I click on this one, yes, so I have this A created, even though it has the link and everything, but it's not opening up those links. Why? You see, and it's showing me the right thing. It has just brought up that one. What's the difference between append child? Kirandeep, I'll tell you, but first of all, let's solve that. I'll tell you what is append child. But first of all, why it's not accessing, why it's not my link is not working, you know. Did you people try, Kirandeep? Did you try that? Whether your link is working or not? Just try that out. Is it working for you or not? For me, it's not opening this link, even though yes, it's the right link. No, but why it is not working with that one? Let me just see that. A.href is equal to, even though it's creating the A, even though it's doing something, but again, when I'm clicking on the, is it working for you, Pratham, or anyone? Like when you click on that one and it's working, or it's just going over there, maybe. Oh, let me just check that one. Okay, still not working. Okay, but anyhow, it's just bringing up that one. Now, how many of you understand that? Okay, we can just create something like this, but again, it's href. So again, you know, it's just not opening that one up. I don't know why it's not opening, or maybe it's opening somewhere else. Maybe I don't know. No, it's not opening anywhere. Okay, so did you see that? Okay, I can just load more cards, and it will just keep on bringing up those cards URL over here. Make sense, everyone? Now, how many things we have just created over here? We have just load that one. If I keep on clicking that, it will just keep on changing that one, and it will just make some new files over there. Understand, everyone? Now I'll just I'll have to just check that why it's not like clicking and bringing that one. I don't know, because it is just a link, and it should definitely go over there. But anyhow, do you understand this one? That when we can create something, we can create events over here. We can create so many nice things over here, and we can just work on these kind of things. Okay, so Kirandeep, what is the difference between append child? Just listen. Append can be used to append more than one child, more than one things into something, and append child is used to create only one, like one node when you have created that. So you can look at the difference later on, but append child we usually use when we create one element. But if there are multiple elements, we use that append child. So Kirandeep, is this code working for you? Like, is it loading all the values from there? And you see that now, if I just keep on adding or deleting values from here, it will just work fine. So if I just make these two comments, you will see that it will only bring up three URLs. You know what I mean? And if I just make them again back, so again they will be available over here. Okay, right, no problem. Right, so we are stopping here, and I would like to request you, like, again, this is something that we have done from your, like, 7th week of study, and you can look at these notes, and we have almost tried to cover most of the things, but I'll be happy to have a question if you want to ask. That I've just tried to cover a few of the things: element converting, modifying elements, events are here, and then what are the different events that we have. Event object is basically working with for us. And this is the timer that we have not discussed, and I will be discussing with this is the DOM programming exercise that I was just doing. Maybe I have just covered most of this programming exercise, but anyhow, you can just follow this programming exercise as well, and you will see that there are very interesting things over here, and you just keep on doing that. So I have just I just tried to cover most of the things, but it looks like after the student week next week means the week after, we will just discuss, or maybe we'll be discussing a few things from here, and we'll just try to come up with new solutions. Any questions from anyone? Yes, any questions? Okay. So thank you very much everyone for joining in, and see you. Oh, Kirandeep, there will be no quiz next week. Next week, there will be quiz related to these topics that we are discussing right now. Right, Kirandeep? Next week is Student Success Week. There will be no quiz next week. Next week is all free for your, yes, after study week, there will be a quiz, and that will contain this 7th week of study, right? 7th week of material. Okay, thank you very much everyone for joining in. Have a nice weekend and see you later on.